A famous comedian made me his punchline, and my life turned upside down. Memes, betrayals, and chaos everywhere. He thought it was funny, but he picked the wrong target. What happened next changed everything. The scene opens with the kind of extravagance that only the Trump household could pull off. Picture this: crystal chandeliers casting a golden glow over a long dining table, set with enough silverware to confuse anyone who isn't a five-star chef. Mellow classical music hums in the background, and the camera pans over to the star of the evening. Barron Trump, 17 years old, tall and reserved, wearing a navy blazer that screams, "I belong at Harvard someday." Tonight, the family celebrates his victory in the school debate competition. A win that his mother, Melania, insists is only the beginning of his brilliant future. Melania, poised as ever in a sleek black gown, raises her glass for a toast. "To Barron," she says with her signature calmness, though her smile reveals pride. "Your father and I couldn't be prouder." The room echoes with polite applause from a small circle of family and close friends. Barron offers a shy nod, his cheeks tinged pink, but as the night flows on, the serenity is shattered. On a sleek, mounted television in the corner of the room, someone carelessly switches channels. Suddenly, the face of Tyler Grant, a wildly popular but notoriously provocative comedian, fills the screen. He's mid-monologue on his late-night talk show, leaning casually against a desk with that trademark smug grin. "So, apparently, little Barron Trump won some debate thing at his private school," Grant says, chuckling. "I mean, sure, he beat a room full of rich kids who probably debate over which Rolex to wear, but hey, it's progress." The audience laughs on cue. "Let's just hope he debates better than he talks to the press. Oh wait, my bad, the kid doesn't talk at all. Guess the apple doesn't fall far from the silent, stiff tree." The laughter from the TV feels deafening, and the room freezes. Melania's hand tightens around her champagne flute until it's a miracle the glass doesn't shatter. Barron's face drains of color. He stares at the table, refusing to meet anyone's eyes. For a moment, the air is thick with disbelief. Then Melania stands, her expression icy but composed. "Turn that off," she orders sharply, her voice slicing through the tension like a knife. Later that evening, after the guests have left, Melania retreats to her study. But she isn't alone. Barron sits in the corner, still quiet, his shoulders slightly hunched. "Are you okay?" she asks, her voice softer now. He doesn't answer immediately. Finally, he mutters, "Why does he care about me? I didn't do anything to him." Those words hit her hard. Her son, the boy she's protected from the world's spotlight as much as possible, now thrust into the crossfire of public ridicule. And for what? A cheap laugh on national TV? No, this is unacceptable. Melania's eyes narrow, her determination taking root. "Barron, I promise you, this will not go unanswered." The next morning, Melania meets with Jason Flint, a high-profile attorney known for taking on seemingly impossible cases. Jason sits behind his mahogany desk, scrolling through clips of Grant's monologue on his tablet. He doesn't look impressed. "This is going to be tricky, Mrs. Trump," he says, setting the tablet down. "Grant's team is sharp. They'll argue this was satire, protected under free speech." Melania, sitting upright in her chair, doesn't flinch. "I do not care what they argue. He humiliated my son. I want an apology, and I want it in front of the same audience that laughed at his jokes." Jason hesitates. "We can pursue a defamation claim, but I have to be honest, your chances are slim. And the media storm this will create—" "I am not concerned about the media," she interrupts, her voice steely. "This is not just for Barron. This is for every child who has been mocked, who feels small because someone with a platform decided to make them a target. I will not let this stand." Jason exhales slowly. "All right, let's get to work." As news of the lawsuit breaks, it spreads like wildfire. Media outlets dissect every angle. Is Melania overreacting? Freedom of speech versus public shaming. Social media platforms explode with opinions. Some praise her for standing up for her son, while others accuse her of being overly dramatic. Meanwhile, Tyler Grant adds fuel to the fire. He posts a short video on his profile, leaning casually against a brick wall. Well, looks like someone didn't find the joke funny. My bad. But come on, it's comedy, people. Or is it court? Guess we'll find out. His smirk at the end is infuriating. The backlash is instant, with supporters on both sides clashing online. #Team Melania and #Team Grant trend simultaneously, turning the issue into a full-blown cultural debate. But for Melania, this isn't about public opinion. It's personal. The stage is set, and the stakes are high. As Melania prepares for the legal battle ahead, Barron remains withdrawn, his confidence visibly shaken. For her, this fight isn't just about winning a case. It's about proving that even in a world of endless noise, some lines shouldn't be crossed. The courtroom is buzzing like a beehive when Melania Trump steps inside. She's dressed in an impeccably tailored navy suit, her face a mask of calm determination. Barron walks beside her, his shoulders slightly hunched, his gaze glued to the polished floor tiles. His black suit fits him perfectly, but it doesn't hide the nervous energy radiating from him. You could almost hear the whispers and gasps ripple through the crowd. Everyone knew this wasn't just another day in court. Across the room, Tyler Grant strolls in with all the confidence of a man who's just hit a home run. He's wearing a charcoal blazer with no tie, looking like he's ready for a late-night talk show instead of a legal showdown. His legal team trails behind him, all briefcases and smug grins, clearly feeding off their client's energy. As the session begins, Grant's lead attorney wastes no time. "Your Honor, my client is a comedian. His statements fall squarely under protected speech. Comedy has always been a tool to challenge power, to provoke thought. This case, frankly, is an attempt to chill that freedom." Tyler leans back in his seat, smirking. It's the kind of expression that says, "I've already won." But then Melania's attorney, Jason Flint, stands up, his every movement measured and deliberate. "Your Honor, while comedy may challenge power, it should not trample on the dignity of a child. Mr. Grant's comments weren't just jokes, they were targeted ridicule, and the consequences for Barron Trump have been severe. Let me show you exactly what those jokes sparked." The lights dim and a screen lights up at the front of the courtroom. Flint presents screenshots of social media posts, memes mocking Barron, hateful comments from strangers, and even private messages from his classmates, some of them cruel beyond belief. The room grows uncomfortably silent. Barron shifts in his seat, his face pale. Melania reaches over and gives his hand a reassuring squeeze, but her own knuckles are white. Tyler's smirk fades, replaced by something like unease. Outside the courtroom, the world is on fire. Every major news outlet is running the story. Free speech versus bullying, the Trump-Grant trial. Pundits are throwing around phrases like slippery slope and moral accountability. On one channel, a commentator argues, "Do we really want a world where comedians are sued for every edgy joke?" Meanwhile, another counters, "This isn't about comedy. It's about protecting kids from public humiliation." The internet, predictably, is a battlefield. #Team Melania and #Team Tyler are trending simultaneously. Memes flood in from both sides. Supporters of Melania post heartfelt messages about standing up to bullies, while Tyler's fans flood his comments with praise for keeping comedy alive. But behind closed doors, the stakes are getting even higher. Melania receives an anonymous letter in the mail. The handwriting is jagged, almost angry, and the message is chilling. Drop the case or face the consequences. She doesn't show it to Barron, but the weight of it lingers in her chest like a stone. Meanwhile, Tyler's legal team starts digging into Melania's past. Every public statement, every old interview, it's all fair game. The tabloids start churning out stories, speculating that the lawsuit is just a ploy for attention. Melania remains silent, but the strain shows in the way she carries herself. Barron, however, is struggling the most. The once quiet but composed teenager is now withdrawn, barely speaking even to his mother. He refuses to return to school, saying, "What's the point? They're just going to keep making jokes." His therapist, Dr. Ashley Carter, expresses concern. "He's showing signs of depression," she tells Melania during a private session. "He needs reassurance that he's more than the target of these attacks." Melania begins to question her choices. What if this lawsuit is only making things worse? What if her decision to fight back is inadvertently putting Barron under more pressure? But every time doubt creeps in, she thinks of the night Tyler Grant's joke aired, of the look on her son's face. She steels herself. "If I back down now," she tells Jason Flint, It will send the message that it's okay to tear someone down for entertainment. I can't let that happen. Not for Barron, not for anyone. Jason nods, but his expression is grim. He knows the battle ahead won't be easy. Tyler's team is ruthless, and the court of public opinion is fickle. Still, Melania's resolve is unshakable. This isn't just about one joke or one child. For her, it's about drawing a line in the sand. As the next court date approaches, the tension is palpable. News crews swarm the courthouse steps, microphones ready to catch the latest soundbite. Inside, the atmosphere is electric. Both sides know that the upcoming arguments could turn the tide of the case, and while Melania holds her head high, Barron stays close, his gaze flickering nervously. The weight of the world, or at least the internet, rests on his shoulders. But for the first time in weeks, there's a flicker of determination in his eyes, a spark that says he's ready to face whatever comes next. The courtroom is packed. The tension is so thick, you could cut it with a knife. Tyler Grant sits at his table, his usual cocky grin replaced by something more subdued. Across the room, Melania Trump sits poised, her face unreadable. Beside her, Barron stares at his hands, his nervousness obvious, but his resolve quietly building. The judge clears his throat, silencing the murmurs. After reviewing the evidence, he begins, "This court rules that Mr. Grant's comments fall under protected speech. However, their impact on Mr. Trump cannot be ignored. Mr. Grant is hereby ordered to issue a public apology to Mr. Trump." The room stirs. It's not a full victory for Melania, but it's something. Tyler's legal team looks relieved, but before the session concludes, Barron stands up. "Your Honor," he says, his voice steady but soft, "I'd like to say something." The room goes still. He steps forward, his words measured but powerful. "I didn't ask for this spotlight, but here I am. When someone with a platform like Mr. Grant mocks you, it doesn't stop at the joke. It follows you into school, your messages, your life. It makes you feel small." He pauses, glancing briefly at his mother. "There are kids who go through this every day, but they don't have anyone to fight for them. I hope this reminds people to think before they speak, because words matter. They hurt." By the time he finishes, the courtroom is silent. Even Tyler looks genuinely moved, his usual smugness gone. The next day, Tyler releases a heartfelt apology video. "To Barron and everyone else who's been hurt by my words, I'm sorry. Intent doesn't erase the pain caused. I've learned that the hard way, and I'll do better." The video quickly goes viral, praised for its sincerity, but the story doesn't end there. A week later, Tyler and Barron appear together on a talk show. They discuss the experience, the importance of empathy, and the need to stop bullying. Tyler even announces a donation to anti-bullying programs, calling it a step toward fixing what I broke. In the months that follow, Barron becomes a surprising advocate for kindness and accountability. Once shy, he now speaks at schools, sharing his story. Tyler uses his platform to support the same cause, often poking fun at himself as the comedian who got outclassed by a teenager. What began as a bitter lawsuit transforms into a movement. For Barron, it's a turning point that helps him grow. For Tyler, it's a humbling lesson in responsibility. In the end, it's not about the joke. It's about the power of words and the strength it takes to use them wisely. What would you have done in Barron's place? Do you think he handled it the right way? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you or someone you know ever faced a similar situation? Let's hear your stories. Don't forget to like this post if you believe words have power and accountability matters. This story was created to shine a light on an important issue and inspire positive change. Together, we can make the world a better place.